So this video is about childhood poverty, and there's so many people talking about how they want to help all these other children who aren't even here. And right here in America, we have our own issue with poverty and kids. We're turning our back on our own American children and ignoring the problems that are happening right here in America. We have kids that are here in America who don't have homes, they don't have food, they don't have shelter, they don't have adequate clean environments and shelter and housing and lodging. They don't have anyone to care for them, barely, and their parents are suffering. We have Black children here who are impoverished, who, they're in homes where the homes are broken down. We have our own problems right here in America. Look at the clips of the children. We have different children here too that don't have places to go. They don't have food to eat, or they're just barely getting by. This is American poverty right here. How dare you, people? How dare you? How dare you blame Americans for what somebody else did in another place and then put all the blame on American people? We are giving. We are giving, but we're not giving to all of the right people. We've got people here that are struggling, making makeshift tents. They don't have places to go. It's sad. Look at this. This is right here in America. And you people want to pin the blame all on people here. It isn't our fault what happened somewhere else. So child poverty. This is in 2017. Child poverty has spiked in the richest countries since the Great Recession. And so this is by Eleanor Gold and their children after the Great Recession, a new study has revealed, according to the recent UNICEF report, in the world's most affluent country since 2008, bringing the total number of impoverished kids to 76.5 million. How dare you people out there? Get out of here with this. And these kids are right here in the US, and we're among the hardest hit. So with 32.2% of the children living below the poverty line, America has ranked 36 out of the 41 well-to-do countries surveyed. Many affluent countries have suffered a great leap backwards in terms of household income, and the impact on children will have a long-lasting repercussion for them and their communities. Jeffrey O'Malley, so UNICEF's head of global policy and strategy, said in a statement, so the report used the 2008 relative poverty line as an anchored indicator because as incomes dropped, so too did the relative poverty line. And so which would have obscured the data. So young people suffered the greatest in Greece, where the child poverty rate hit 40.5% 2 years ago. So while the US wasn't at the very bottom of the list of the countries analyzed, children across America were heavily affected. So according to the report, child poverty increased 34 states between 2006 and 2011. Though the US had safety net systems in place, those programs proved to better serve the working poor more so than extreme poor. So those living at below 50% of the poverty threshold experienced a large decrease in earned income and temporary aid for needy families, and a slight decline in unemployment insurance. So poorer people across the board saw an increase in reliance on food stamps. And underserved kids in America are hardly out of the woods yet. So a recent JAMA Pediatrics report found that the child poverty rate in the US hit 20-year high in 2010 and continues to hold it steady. So it shouldn't be this hard for kids to grow and thrive in the world's richest, most powerful nation, Bruce Leslie, president, First Focus, and co-author of the study, said in a statement. But children face obstacles at every turn, from a child poverty rate doubled that of seniors to a broken immigration system that says kids don't count. So listen to this. So here's the thing. We've got problems here. So for these people going around saying that it's America's fault and America did this and America did that, we have been giving, America has been giving. Don't blame us for the failings of another country and then put all of your problems on the top of the problems that have already happened here. So it is unfair to do that. It's not even fair to pin blame on someone else for someone else's failings. So there are kids here, right here in America, that are poor. You want to help kids from different places? There are kids here in America that are from different places that are American citizens, that they are from families that are from different places and they're American citizens and they are impoverished. And we're turning our backs on them to help other people as if Flint didn't happen. We forget about the Flint crisis. We forget about Hurricane Katrina, how the impact, the aftermath of that. I'm hearing that some people still don't have places to stay. And those are families. There is homelessness all over in these urban cities where now you thought it was just homeless vets. It's homeless vets. It's also homeless families with children here, right here in this country. It's unfair for all those people that blame America for something that happened in another place when they're doing their best. They are doing what they can. They may not make the best decisions always, but don't blame American government for what another government didn't do. So pin the blame on who the blame is due. It isn't all of our fault. We can't take on all the weight for everyone else's problems either, when we have our own problems right here. And so if you look at some of the photos of some of these poor children, you'll see photos of people that look just like you and I out there who are struggling. All of these pictures that you're seeing, what does it mean to be poor in America? Look at this. You take a look. And some of the pictures are showing you that from a long ago, some stuff that is happening still in this country now. The picture of Martin Luther King, he was trying to help a family. And this was during the civil rights era. But these pictures are not from a long time ago. These pictures are very recent. Let me go back to this one right here. Welcome to poverty, being the 99th percent. Look at this. Look at this. Skid Row. This is right here in America. This is today. This is now. This is what's happening. I drive past this all the time. How dare you? How dare you? Look at these kids. Just because they look like things are all right, you don't know what their family lives are like. The first 5 were in Children Families Commission. Okay. These are kids right here in America that don't have food to eat. They don't have adequate places to stay, and they barely are getting by. They have families that are barely getting by. The terrible loneliness of growing up poor in Robert Putnam's America. Look at this. This is more today in our time. We always talk about how we want to help our kids in America, all these things happening to Americans, and yet we have short-term memory. This was in 2015, right here. How dare you people? People getting online and bashing Americans like we don't have any problems. One third, look at this. This is another article in the American Free Press. There's article after article about poverty right here in America. 1/3 of Americans poor or near poor. Look at this. Want to know the year? This was in 2012, but that ain't that far off. I've shown you stuff in 2015, also 2017, which is this one right here. And this is in 2017. And so that was just in December, this one right here. And so how dare you people get online and talk about Americans don't do anything and we're cruel and all this. We have our problems. We're not perfect, but we have a lot of problems here. We're struggling to feed our families. And then you Black leaders, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You say that you want to help Black people, yet you go and rush over and help people who don't have your best interest. Then you do all this talk about Martin Luther King and all this talk about you want to start campaigns and you want to help people in the communities. But what do you go and do? Turn your back on people who look like you, and you run out to help people who probably don't even have your best interest at heart. They don't even care about you. And as soon as they come here, they denounce you and denounce your color of your skin. They don't even want to be associated with you. And I'm saying this, I'm being honest, because nobody comes out and says anything. They sit back and they just don't say anything, and they keep a closed mouth and they let this stuff happen. Here you got Black families right here in America who are struggling, children living in poverty in the United States, and there are Black people that are living in poverty. There are Black people, even from a long time ago, who were separated from their families. This is in Louisiana. I'm not even going to play the rest of the video, but if you want to see it, it's called Children Living in Poverty in the U.S. And this is sad. So there are things that are happening right here. There are things happening right here. Poverty in Jamestown, Mississippi. Look at this. These are Black people that are in the South that are impoverished. This is a commercial, but I'm going to skip over the commercial so you can see poverty in Jamestown, Mississippi. There are Black people who are suffering. And you Black leaders, you run out and you break your neck so you can go help people who don't even look like you, and those people don't even like you. Once they get on their feet, they turn their back on you too. You have no business. You don't even care about your own people. And you have the audacity to bash other people that are here who are in poverty. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Look at this. Is this what you call helping the Black community? Black leaders out there, are you helping the Black community? You're not helping the Black community. You're not helping, because if you were, you wouldn't see this stuff right here. Kids like this living in squalor conditions. I don't even want to go any further. It's just sad. I think you need a real wake-up call. All of you people, how dare you? You have a lot of nerve to do this. And I'm seeing this. And I don't know if anybody else is seeing this, but I think it's extremely unfair and it's extremely sad. It's un-American to turn your back on your own people, and you know that they've been struggling all this time. There's article upon article of the poverty that is right here in America, yet you want to go and run over somewhere and help somebody, and you don't even have your own yard stable. Your own kitchen ain't clean and you want to go clean up somebody else's kitchen. You have a lot of nerve.